Hello and welcome to Mindset Mondays, episode number 124, an ongoing series of live broadcasts designed for folk who are really dedicated wholly to becoming better at being who they be rather than being distracted by merely getting better at doing what they do. All right, so here's the playground today. Um, the quote that we're going to play with has to do with investing in and living one's dreams. And it's interesting as I first started listening or looking at this quote, I have to tell you, honestly, I wasn't inspired by the quote, which is interesting. But the thought internal combustion engine came up. And the idea of if I invest in my dreams, what if they don't come true? Now, full disclosure, I'm was in the middle of working with the tail end of positive intelligence and Shirzad Shamin's work around saboteurs and sages and navigating the internal voices we all have. So maybe that's why what came up is, what if the dreams don't come true? But then what if? And I go back to that question of, well, what if they do come true? And what if I give my all to the dreams that I have? What if I give my all and then they do come true? Well, what then? So it's an interesting conversation, but here's the quote we're playing with today, right? Give your dreams all you've got, and you'll be amazed at the energy that comes out of you. This is a quote from William James. Give your dreams all you've got, and you'll be amazed at what comes out of you. I'm still sitting with it. And most of the time, these quotes really speak to me. And I think coming off the backside of July 4th, celebration of independence here in the United States, um, I think the quote is even less. But we just watched Hamilton um, this weekend. And thinking about the dreams of a group of rebels trying to create something new. If I disconnect that from what's actually been created, the instance of this country and our government and our culture that we see now, which is so much easier to judge, I look at that story of an unlikely group of misfits who gave their all to something. Yeah, honestly, I'm still not inspired by the quote. And it's not often that this happens. And I think the reason is this doesn't seem like something new to me. This doesn't seem like a ginormous concept. This doesn't seem to be something earth-shattering. When what I do is a logical extension of who I be, of who I am at my core and what's most important to me, that's an incredible amount of energy. So is it as much about my dreams as much as it is about my vision, my drive, my passions, the things that move me, the work that I want to do in the world, the changes that I want to see happen? Maybe it's the word dreams. I don't know. Tell me what your reaction to this quote is. It's odd. And I say that because dreams seem so nebulous. They don't seem, I'm not inspired by the word dreams. I think that may be what it is. I mean, I get the idea that when I give my all to the work that I want to do in the world, the change that I'm here to create, the shift that I'm here to take a stand for, when I give my all to that work, the energy that comes from that is like rocket fuel. I'm indefatigable, right? When something is so deeply tied to the work I'm here to do, my purpose, not only is the energy limitless, but I also get back an order of magnitude more than the energy I invest in the activities towards that work realized. So I think for me, the struggle point is I'm not a fan of the word dreams. I'm unimpressed by that word. I mean, you can tell I didn't even want to stand up for this. I'm still sitting. I'm not even doing my standing desk today. Yeah. So, how is this different if instead of give your dreams, give your work in the world or give your purpose all you've got? And you'll be amazed at the energy that comes out of you. I think that's the difference. Give your purpose all you've got. Give your work in the world all you've got, and you'll be amazed at the energy that comes out of you. That feels like something different. Now, underlying that is, I think, the most powerful piece of the conversation we could possibly have today. It's dare to know what your purpose is. Dare to know what your work in the world is. Dare to know what the shift is that you're here to create. I have a fundamental belief that everyone, this came from an awareness about entrepreneurs. So let me start there that all entrepreneurs have a shift that they're here to create. The lucky ones figure out what that is. Now, that's something I grew to understand as an entrepreneur 20, almost 30 years ago. That every entrepreneur has a shift they're here to create. Do you know what yours is? Well, I started paying attention in a different way and I realized that every business, every company has a shift they're here to create as well. They have work in the world that they're meant to do. And the companies that learn that are the most successful. So many companies are misguided by what the market wants, what the market needs, what they think, what the research says, as opposed to knowing deeply inside the core of the company and the leadership what shift they're here to create. When you look at Apple, if you think of Apple as a technology company, you're missing the boat. Apple's work in the world from the very beginning of what Steve Jobs was looking to do was democratizing the way media is generated, shared, created, and consumed from the very beginning with the first Apple computers before the Macintosh. It's about making media creation, transmission, and consumption available to everyone at any level. And when you look at all the products that they've created, you start to see that everything they've done is not about market research. They created products that we didn't know we could live without. So if every entrepreneur and every company has a shift they're here to create, and the lucky ones are the ones who figure that out, guess what? Entrepreneurs are people. Companies are made up of people. You, every individual, has a purpose, has work in this world that they're here to do. The lucky ones figure out what that is. So play with this again. Give your purpose or give your work in this world all you've got, and you'll be amazed at the energy that comes out of you. That's inspiring. That's a shift. That's an awareness that is powerful. But it demands that you're still enough to pay attention, to dare to know what the shift is that you're here to create. And Sarah, I'm glad you pointed that out because that really is. I have sat so many times in the room with the C-suite and asked, "What are you here for? What makes this company special? What's the work what's the shift you're trying to create?" And I get crickets. On the rare exception that the leadership of a company knows the purpose of that business, knows what makes them special, knows why they're here, knows the shift they're here to create. Those are the companies that are making a difference. And not just for their employees, but for the people they serve and for the broader world around them. Dare to know your purpose. Dare to know the work you're here to do in the world. And the energy you get from that is inexhaustible. And God knows, as entrepreneurs, we could use a resource that's inexhaustible. So that's the conversation I'd love to have. And I'd love you to dive into the Facebook group and play with this. What is the work that here, what is the work that you're here to do? What's your work in the world? What's the shift you're here to create? Choose the language that's meaningful for you. God knows you saw me at the beginning. The word dreams didn't do it for me. What's your purpose? What's the work you're here to do? My work in the world is to master is to master the mute switch. So, what's the work you're here to do? What's the shift you're here to create? For me, I'm very clear. My purpose is to unearth and unleash the power of the heart. That's why I'm here. That's what my work is. All the work that I do centers around that. And when I lose my way and when I get lost, when I get tired, that's what reminds me. That's what brings me back. Sarah knows. Sarah says, I'm here to show everyone that there is magic in the mundane and it's available to everyone. Sarah, I see that so much in what you bring to the conversation, what you bring to the circle, what you bring to our conversations. And God knows your clients feel it, I'm sure. To show everyone that there is magic in the mundane and it's available to everyone. Sarah, what I like most about that is how quickly you were able to throw that into the chat. Dare to know what your purpose is. Dare to know what your work in this world is. Dare to know the shift you're here to create. Take the time to figure it out. Call it lockdown, call it circuit breaker, wherever you are in the world, there's a different word for the what's happening in our cultures and economies to slow things down. There's a perfect opportunity to pause, take the time and go deep and go in, but dare to know what your work in this world is. Because when you give your purpose all you've got, you'll be amazed at the energy that comes to you and comes out of you. So please come to facebook.com/groups/Mindset Mondays. Share what your work in this world is, what your shift is, what your purpose is, what gives you energy. And I'm curious how you'll pursue that, how you'll fan those flames this week. Sarah, that's a great question. Sarah asked, I'm curious if anyone is hearing different language around dreams, goals, purpose among younger folk. with all that shifted in the last decade for the last half of the millennials, I'm really curious. I don't coach a lot of millennials. I coach a lot of leaders who lead millennials. But I am curious. It's a great question, Sarah. If anyone is hearing different language around dreams, goals, purpose among younger folk. Sarah saying that her kids don't resonate with those words. What does resonate with them? I think our kids have been hearing that kind of language from us for so long that I don't know whether it resonates with them or not. I know they respond to it. But it's interesting. I wonder how, when you look at things, because I know that when I talk to companies about dreams, those words don't resonate. Goals do, because it's something they can codify and sterilize and take the life out of. Um, but there's a different energy around having the conversation about what is the shift they're here to create. And I wonder how that plays with Gen Y and Gen Z. I wonder if it takes a little bit of experience, a little bit of length in the tooth to get a feel for what one's shift is, what one's purpose is. But then again, maybe not. So between now and next week, what will you do to get clear on the shift that you're here to create? And between now and next week, what mindset will you choose?